said she's ready. Okay. So if we're ready, then I'll give you guys a countdown from 5, and I'll let you go. Sound good? And remember, you can to reveal the
Sounds good to
card.
me.
For the first 30 seconds, you're just going to be reading the card, and then you can play after 30 seconds has elapsed. If we hit time, I will undeafen in this voice chat, and I will call time, and whoever has more points will be the winner.
Got
Okay.
it.
Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck. All right, guys. So we've got a bingo card here. It looks like it's cropped kind of poorly on my stream here. Let me fix that really quick. Our gamers have 30 seconds to read the card, and then they will begin playing. Come on. Never use Streamlabs, guys. Terrible software. There we go. Okay, should be good. So I do have to keep an eye on my phone for Discord here as I'm running the tournament. Okay, so it looks like Morzis is going to start off with Pilot Quest. Definitely a good play here. Something that we often see bingo players do is open Pilot Quest as soon as possible so they can get that idle going. Let me take a look at the card here. We do have collect 5 Zoldynacs in Pilot Quest, so this does require a little bit of idling to get the resources to even enter the Wild Zone so that you can start getting those Zoldynacs. So good play here. Meanwhile, it looks like Peter over here is opting to hop into Star Wasper. 15x multiplier in Star Wasper is a somewhat difficult goal. The gift in this game is having a 10x multiplier, so it's a little bit beyond that. Probably the hardest game in UFO 50, hands down. Yes, early Pilot Quest is pretty much necessary. So Morzis going to get a, or not Morzis, yes, Morzis going to get a pretty big edge on that goal right off the bat here by just setting up in Pilot Quest. Oh, getting an ingot as well. So there's like a 1 or like a 0.1% chance to get an ingot from the crystals. So that's very lucky. They're able to get the Huntress set up right away, which is going to allow Morzis to enter the Wild Zone immediately if she so chooses. So if you're not familiar with the bingo, if you haven't seen this before, the way it works and the way the cards are generated is that we have varying tiers of difficulty, and it pulls a certain number of goals from each of those. One of those is very hard, so there's always going to be one, quote, very hard square on any given card. Let me look over and see if I can figure out which one it is off the bat here. I believe it is... I had a hard time reading this. Ooh. Peter takes a death in Star Wasper there before hitting that, unfortunately. What is the very hard here? I'm actually not sure. It might be... Oh, I actually just noticed we have 2 Pilot Quest goals on here. So Pilot Quest was a very good play from Morzis early on. I believe the find 2 of 3 eggs in Mooncat is the very hard here, because you do have to beat Mooncat twice, technically, to get that goal. In addition to that, there's also going to be 5 squares on anywhere on the card that are general, where multiple games can apply to them. So we're going to see things like defeat 10 bosses, collect 5 gold discs, collect 2 cherry discs. These are all general goals that you can kind of work towards just as you work towards other goals on the card. So it helps to tie all the cards together and make them feel kind of coherent. Meanwhile, Morzis over in Combatants, however you prefer to pronounce it, looks like they're going for beat 4 levels in Combatants. That is one of the more difficult goals that you can get. 4 levels in this game takes quite a while. So going for a long goal off the bat, an interesting strat from Morzis. We're going to see if it pays off here. It is entirely possible that Peter could pick up Combatants after getting the Star Wasper goal and then lose a ton of time since Morzis will be very ahead there. All right, looks like that's going to be a 15x multiplier for Peter. And I'll mark their colors here as well. Peter is green, and I believe Morzis is red. Let me mark that down on the scoreboard. Quick break from commentary so that I can catch up on the chat and make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay. Yep, everything seems to be pretty much in order here. So everybody should be off playing their games right now. I have not gotten alerted that anybody hasn't showed, so that's good. I think everybody actually checked into their matches. I love seeing that as a former fighting game tournament organizer. That's a huge problem in fighting games, so I'm glad that we didn't have that here. Okay, both players in Paint Chase now. This is interesting. So we're going to see a bit of a snipe here for beat 5 levels in Paint Chase. It looks like whoever gets this first is going to feel pretty good. The other is probably going to be a little bummed that they wasted a lot of time playing Paint Chase. The way Lockout Bingo works, neither player knows what the other player is doing. They can't watch each other's feeds. So very interesting strats here. We kind of see this happens a lot in Lockout Bingo, where two players just often end up doing the same goal without realizing, and then they get sniped. It looks like this is pretty neck and neck as well. Peter having a very slight time advantage here. But the way Paint Chase works, if you perfect a level, it ends. So you don't actually have to play the entire level if you know the route to get the perfect here. So far, I don't think we've seen a perfect from either side. So in theory, Peter should win this by literally a matter of seconds. But all Morzis has to do is perfect one level to take this lead back. We could also see a player potentially lose a level, and that could also swing this either way. All right, Morzis entering course 3 here. All right, so we still haven't seen a perfect, so Peter should hopefully be clearing up this paint chase goal relatively fast here. Just 2 more levels from each of them. Meanwhile, I'm going to take a quick swing over to the bracket view. We can take a look at this again. I'm also going to add my microphone to that scene. Hang on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Whatever. I can't figure it out. I hate Streamlabs. Hey, welcome in, Spooty. Thank you for the raid. Unfortunately, I was on a scene that had no alert box, so hang on one sec. There we go.
Who are you people?
Welcome in. First ever Lockout Bingo 1v1 tournament. First match of the day is Peter Peladon and Morzis. Peter off to a bit of a lead going for that Star Wasper goal. However, we have 2 Pilot Quest goals on this card, and Morzis was the only one who started Pilot Quest. So going to have a little bit of advantage there, even if Peter takes an early lead here. You could hear me? Dude, I hate Streamlabs. I hate Streamlabs so much. But yeah, welcome in. Here, I'll bring up the bracket view one more. Oh, hang on. There we go. Beat 5 levels in Paint Chase. That's going to be 2 points for Peter. We'll look at the bracket view again later, perhaps. Things are heating up here a little bit. So it looks like Peter hopping directly into Bug Hunter now. So I think we're going to see kill 4 bugs by stomping on them in Bug Hunter. This goal has a few variants. One of them is to kill 4 bugs by pushing them into pits. One of them is to kill, I think, 3 bugs with 1 module. So this time we got stomping on bugs. So a lot of this depends on the generation of the stages. I think the stomping one is probably the easiest. You tend to get a good number of these raised platforms, and all you need is the bugs to spawn in reasonable places where you can stomp on them. Yeah, I love technology. I mean, I'm a software engineer, so I feel like I'm not allowed to make fun of technology. All right, Morzis realizing that they got sniped out of Paint Chase, going to hop into a different game here. Let's see where she decides to go. I think Peter may have potentially missed out on a stomp there and not realized. Gonna hop back into Bug Hunter here again. Now, you don't have to stomp on 4 bugs in one run. You can do it across multiple runs. So you can actually just reset until you get a good generation. That is allowed for this goal. This is a great generation. I see 3 stompable bugs here. All Peter needs is enough movement abilities. Morzis is going to hop into Quibble Race. So let me take a look at the card real quick, because I don't recall seeing that. Yeah, we do have Quibble Race Gold Disc in the top left corner. Corners are obviously pretty strong when it comes to bingo, as well as the center space. Seems maybe neither player is very comfortable with Mortal 2, doesn't want to take that center space right away. But Quibble Race Gold Disc is fairly easy to get through as long as you make good bets and use consistent strats. You should be able to do this in about under 5 minutes. Peter appears to be making pretty good progress on the bug stomping here. I believe that is 4. I looked away for a moment, so I'm not sure. But this may be a pretty quick 3-0 for Peter. But again, Morzis started Pilot Quest, and there's 2 Pilot Quest goals here. Collect 5 Zoldnaks, and where was the other one? Defeat Big Borg. I think that's how it's pronounced. The Comfy Panda, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome on in. Hey guys, if you like UFO 50 Bingo, we've been doing a ton of this on the stream lately. This is the first ever tournament. I expect there to be more. So if you want to see more of this, drop a follow, hang out, and yeah, I appreciate everybody who wants to hang out and watch this. So I'm one of the developers of this bingo. It's mainly been myself and Goose, but frankly, the whole community has been, suggesting goals and helping balance. So it's been an effort from a ton of people. And I can't believe just how big it's gotten. So thank you, everybody, for just taking an interest in it. All right, so Peter took the Bug Hunter goal, so that's going to be 3-0, hopping into Warp Tank while Morzis tries to finish up Quibble Race to get her first point. So let me take a look at the card here. We've got talk to 3 NPCs in Warp Tank. This is actually a more difficult Warp Tank goal. Potentially the most difficult Warp Tank goal that we have. You do have to beat, I forget exactly how many levels. I think it's 6. I don't remember. In order to... Spoody's in the chat, he would know. It is the longest Warp Tank goal in the pool, yeah. 9 levels. Wow, yeah. So going for this one, perhaps maybe doesn't know how long it is, or perhaps is pretty confident that he knows his way through Warp Tank. We'll see if this strat pays off for Peter. Perhaps a good chance for Morzis to play catch-up here. Again, having that pilot quest set up. Got a very lucky ingot right at the start, so was able to set up Parvina the Huntress immediately. Already has access to meat, but has not entered the wild zone yet. Somebody didn't watch the demo reel. Unfortunate. All right, let me take a quick peek at the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah. Bob, to answer your question in the chat, anything that's in the rules doc, I can't stop you from pre-writing that. It's information you're allowed to have access to, so go ahead. Anything outside of the rules doc is not allowed. You're not allowed to have pre-written. So this game has a ton of knowledge requirements, and they have to know all 50 games. So rather than expect people to know every detail about every goal, we allow people access to the rules document while they're playing so that they can access things like lists of games that have beverages, lists of games that have leaderboards. These are things that are necessary for certain goals. Yeah, I guess you're already in here. Welcome anyway. You know, Spoody, not everybody's a speedrunner of this game. Not everybody knows it quite as well as you. I still trust that Peter's going to be able to get this goal done. Anybody else just getting some weird audio glitching? Or is that just on my end? I may go ahead and swap stream audios here. It might be an issue with Peter's stream. All right, we'll listen to Quibble Race for a little while instead. Well, welcome on into the raid train. I see a fur emote, so I'm sure we're in good company here. All right, so this appears to be potentially the final race for Quibble Race over here. I haven't really been watching too closely. One more, perhaps? Round 4. Okay, so a couple more. Morzis is probably just taking this a little on the safer side just to make sure they're able to get through it and with a gold disc 100%. The video feed is very quiet. Hang on one moment. Is that better? Let me know if it's still too quiet, too loud. Just let me know. What I hear in my headphones is definitely not what you guys hear, so it's a delicate balance. Ooh, okay, Peter taking a death over in Tower Sector. This is Junior Sector. I remember Warp Tank. I speedran this game. Sounds pretty good now? Awesome, thank you. I assume that you're getting game audio now, right? Frilth says there was no stream audio. I'm gonna assume it was just low and you couldn't hear it, and now it's good? Let me know otherwise. Does that imply that to have knowledge of UFO 50 game, you have to speedrun it? So the way we've balanced bingo is we've run with the assumption that a bingo player knows how to do every goal, but is not necessarily a speedrunner. So when we take into account things like how long something takes, or maybe something requires like an unintended glitch or something, we do take that into account when we're balancing the goals, and we try to make sure that the goals are reasonable whether you're a speedrunner or not. So if you're just somebody who has played a lot of UFO 50 but you haven't done any speedrunning, you should still be able to play bingo and do pretty well. All right, so I believe we're on the final Quibble race here. Let's see if Cheetah comes through. Looking not very promising. Wow, for a final race, that was really boring. Am I wrong? Unable to cinch the Quibble race gold disc there. Probably going to hurt a little bit. Let's see if Morzis opts to go again, or perhaps return to Pilot Quest, or even go for a different goal. Yeah. 4 levels, unfortunately, not enough. You do have to open the 9 gate there in order to reach 3 NPCs. So definitely a long goal. Probably one that maybe we should consider revisiting in terms of balance. But I'm not going to be making any adjustments to the bingo during the tournament. Everything is going to have to wait till the end. All right, looks like Morzis is returning to Pilot Quest, holding 2 meat. Going to get another seed, and they're going to hop into the Wild Zone, saving another meat for later, knowing that they're probably not going to be able to get everything done in one run. Smart, in my opinion. I think it's fine as a very hard goal. Is it a very hard right now? I actually don't know if it is, because I believe the very hard here is the find 2 of 3 eggs in Mooncat. I believe it's only a hard. So we may want to consider moving that to very hard. If you weren't here for that explanation earlier, the way the cards are generated, all the goals are split into kind of difficulty tiers, and a certain amount of goals per difficulty are pulled. We get 1 very hard per card. And we get like 5 hard, I think 7 medium, 7 easy, and then 5 that are general that span multiple games. So that's those are your stuff like collect 5 golds, 2 cherries, 15 gifts, that sort of stuff. I'll have to double check later. It's possible because I know Goose wanted to move the 2 of 3 eggs to very hard. I don't know if they ever did. All right, Morzis over here. So this is Big Borg, if you're not familiar. This boss right here looks like opting to not fight him right now, just going for the Zoldnax, which are a currency you can only find in the Wild Zone. There's 1 right there, so you have to collect 5 to satisfy the goal. It is set to hard right now, so that probably needs a rebalance. And I will do that after the tournament. And in fact, if you could even like add that as a suggestion in the doc so I don't forget, I would appreciate that. But I'm not going to be changing it since the tournament has started. The bingo is what it is right now. Yep, this bingo is still in development, very early days, so we're still fielding idea suggestions, balancing, all that sort of stuff. Meanwhile, it looks like Peter's going to be hopping into Elphazar's hat over there, abandoning the Warp Tank goal for now, but progress saves in that game, so we may see him return to it later. All right, so Morzis, I believe, returned to base, collected more meat, and is now going to find more Zoldnax. Again, still opting to not fight Big Borg yet. He is very tough. You need quite a bit of meat to tank his hits and get past him. So I don't blame her for that. Yeah, we can talk about that another time, Spooty. It's still a bit, it's all a bit kind of mushy and vague, specifically what goals should take what time and stuff like that. Okay, so, oh, Peter finally undusting Pilot Quest. So I was wondering when we were going to see this happen. Morzis has a very distinct advantage in the Pilot Quest goals right now, already having progress towards collecting 5 Zoldnacs and having quite a bit of the seeds set up for passive generation, having a bunch of ingots already ready to go. Whereas Peter's going to be really behind in this regard. He's either going to need some very lucky ingots from the crystal, or he's going to have to play super well, take out like Big Borg on his first try. This seems to be a Pilot Quest blindness among bingo players. A lot of the time, the strat, if there is any Pilot Quest goals on the card, is to just start it. It takes about a minute to do, and it guarantees you the goal, because most people just don't start Pilot Quest until 20 minutes in. So this is something we see happen all the time, for some reason. Yeah, we get to see Zoldath both day and night. Alright, looks like Peter just taking the passive income there in Pilot Quest, moving on to Campanella 2. Gonna try to obtain the friendship bracelet, most likely. My audio went to shit again. I don't know what's going on there. Let's go ahead and swap audio again. Let's listen to the sweet sounds of Campanella 2 over on Peter's side. Yes, Big Borg is the big purple guy, yeah. I want to quickly take a look over at the bracket here, just so I can get a vibe for what the next match is going to be. So I'm probably going to do your match next on stream, Spoody, if that's cool with you. So you're going to be fighting whoever wins Tyler and Guri. All right, so looking over at Morzis' side, she did find some meat in the wild zone here, so she will get to re-enter if she so chooses to right now, or will potentially wait to get even more meat to have more time. Still only sitting at 1 Zoldnak, however. So Zoldnaks are random drops. You can find them in pots, in enemies, or in chests around. Yeah, they're just not coming out, for the RNG not in her favor right now, unfortunately. Potentially opting to get a friend here, so friends can help you get more ingots over time, which can help you just kind of scale a bit better. Not much else to do with your ingots at this point, so probably a good call. It's first to form a line, and then if a line's not possible, it is majority, so first to 13. For the tournament, however, we do have a time limit on matches at 90 minutes. So if a match goes to time, the person with more points wins at time. If they are tied, then the winner is the person who ticked off their last goal first, if that makes sense. Yeah, you do need a bench. So you need 10 ingots in order to get a friend to start generating more ingots for you. I believe she only had 8, so not fully there yet. We'll probably come back later. Looks like our first match is already complete. Dark Brick getting bingoed, unfortunately, by his opponent, which was Grape. So Grape is going to be our first victor here, moving on to the next round. Let me take a look at this card real quick just to see how this match went. Looks like Brick got sniped on Paint Chase, 30 seconds behind, and that seems like it kind of sealed the game out. Lost on a diagonal. Perhaps diagonal blindness, very common in bingo as well. There were 2 Paint Chase goals on this card, so I think what happened was Grape saw that open Paint Chase and just sniped both those goals as quick as possible. And that probably decided the game. Sometimes bingo just goes like that. Sometimes you just get sniped right away and you can't catch up. That's sort of the name of the game at times. All right, so it looks like Morzis back in Quibble Race, trying to seal out that gold disc and get her first point here. Peter's still in Campanella 2, sitting at 2 health. A little bit low, trying to get out of the burrows here. So you do have to reach Moir Woods to get the friendship bracelet. Looks like he's just trying to get out as fast as possible. Yeah, very fast win. But like I said, sometimes that's just the name of the game. I expect that's not going to be the only fast bingo win we see today. I also know that Grape is quite a good player, so I'm not surprised that they were able to fill out a bingo pretty quickly. Ooh, going to be taking a death in Campanella 2 here. Unfortunate for Peter. Going to hop back in, though, and try again. So Campanella 2 can be... Oh, nope. Opting to try something else. Campanella 2 can be a pretty fast game if you're good at it, but it is honestly one of the hardest games in all of UFO 50 to get good at. So looks like they're going to be returning to that Warp Tank goal. Again, progress from earlier did save. So how many levels has he completed so far? 5. So he only needs 4 more levels in order to complete the Talk to 3 NPCs goal. It can randomly show up in normal shops. Really? I actually didn't know that. So maybe that's what Peter was hoping for? Meanwhile, over in Quibble Race, looks like Morzis is doing fairly well. Quite a bit of cash here on round 5. Looks like it should hopefully be a pretty comfy win. Let's see if she's able to clutch it out. Unfortunately, a lot of time it can come down to the final round where you just put it all on the line and you hope it works out for you. And sometimes it just doesn't work. Doing very consistent strats here by sponsoring quibbles, sabotaging other quibbles, just trying to make sure that the odds are always in your favor. This, I think, is the best strat for bingo to just make sure that you're going to be able to win consistently, because having to reset is going to cost you a lot of time. Is that a speed of like 2? I'm not sure what a speed of what. I might be missing the context there. Oh, what is Hazard's speed stat? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know the intricacies of how Quibble Race works. I just slam all my money down and pray. Yeah, he's doing his best. All right, looks like we need Black Eye to win for all the marbles here, but he's not doing so hot. Meteors can just do this to you sometimes. Wow, he just didn't want to get up. All right, is anything going to stop Domino? Gets hit by a meteor. It's Black Eye's race to lose, but he gets hit. Domino wins. Does Morzis clutch this anyway? No, going to opt to reset. All right, third attempt at Quibble Race Gold Disc here for Morzis. Let's see what can happen. No one can stop Mr. Domino. So true. Meanwhile, Peter over here making some pretty solid progress over in Warp Tank. I believe this is level 7 for him, if I've been counting correctly, which there's a chance I have not. Quibble Race giveth, but mostly it taketh away. I couldn't have put it better myself, honestly. All right, so let me go ahead on the bracket screen on my end here and just mark off the win for Grape, which I totally forgot to do. It's hard to stream, commentate, and TO all at the same time. I don't recommend it personally. Oh, come on. Gotta log in on my tablet here, of course. Boy, don't we love technology, guys. Hello? Can I log in, please? Yes, authorize. I have to go to portrait mode just to hit the button to log in because it doesn't work on landscape mode. It's never easy. Okay, looks like the score was already submitted. That's good. I don't have to worry about it. All right, we are approaching the half-hour mark here, and still not very many squares ticked off on the board. All right, it's going to be another level down for Peter. Looks like he's going to be at 9 levels. That's all you need to get the 3 NPCs. So now he should be able to cinch this one, collect four squares, and we'll see where he goes next. Potentially back to Pilot Quest to catch up some ground. Okay, here's an NPC here, so I believe that makes 2. Only has to find 1 more. Making sure to read all the text so that it counts. I appreciate that. Not fully necessary, but I do appreciate your dedication to making sure you're playing fair. All right, now just got to navigate the overworld here. It can be a bit confusing if you don't 100% know where you're going. So I believe the other NPC is like on the far right here over by, what is that, Garl sector? Am I right? Am I right in that saying that, Spooty? Not Garl sector, whatever it is. The arena that sucks. Maybe it is Garl. It's, is it down here? Yeah, there it is. That's going to be 3 NPCs, I believe, in Warp Tank here. Which is going to make 4 Peter, 0 Morzis still. Unfortunately, getting kind of filtered by Quibble Race at the moment. Yeah, okay, it is by Garl. See, I remember Warp Tank. I played that game a couple times. All right, looks like entering the final race here. Again, putting it all on the line. Honestly, I'm not sure I would do that. But, all right, chat. Let's go Super Q. Ooh, Peter entering Quibble Race as well. Looks like Super Q's running away with this, however, so I think Morzis is going to tick this one off and snipe it from Peter. Yeah, it looks like a pretty convincing victory this time. Go ahead and just tick that off for Morzis preemptively because I'm calling it. Does minimize his time waste. He's only going to be in here hopefully for like 30 seconds. He should realize it pretty quickly here. All right, it's going to be Morzis' first square on the board. Quibble Race Gold Disc. Peter sees it and backs out. All right. Where is Morzis going to go next? I think she might be reading the card right now while the credits roll. Yeah, rip Woogie. I'm personally a Mr. Q main. All right, looks like Peter returning to Pilot Quest here. Let's see if he can make up some of the ground that he's lacking right now in this game. Morzis still has a pretty convincing lead in Pilot Quest, despite being behind in points. All right, opting to just take a seed and move on again. Probably realizing, hey, I still have an hour. I can just revisit Pilot Quest later. I'll have a ton of resources. It should be fine. So we've got Morzis over here in Hyper Contender. Where's the Hyper Contender square on this card? Hyper Contender Gold Disc, duh. So that's what appears to be what Morzis is going for next. It's a vicious cycle. Deliver onions, earn enough to go to the Quibble Races, blow it all. So we actually have a square on this board called Alpha Trilogy. Not on this board, sorry, but in the bingo. We have a square called Alpha Trilogy, which is a general goal where you have to gold Felgrass, overbold, and then finally Quibble Race playing as Alpha. So that's just a little interesting thing about the bingo. So opting to play Donkus. I believe Morzis is quite the Donkus fan, given her Discord username. And how could you blame her, honestly? I mean, look at him. Oh, I just realized I'm sitting here in the dark. There we go. Now you can see my beautiful face. All right, so Peter over here in Kick Club, probably looking for the 10 hidden desserts. This is a goal that only really requires you, I believe, to go to World 2. I don't think you have to go any farther than that. I'm not sure if it's possible to do all of it in World 1 or not. But just throughout the map, throughout each level, there's just spaces where if you kick the ball into them, a dessert will appear and you can just grab it for points. So that's what Peter's going to be looking for here. Ooh, taking some unfortunate deaths here in Kick Club. Kick Club, pretty unforgiving game. You know, any hit will just kill you, take a life, and lives are a bit hard to come by. You need to get a lot of points to rack up lives. So we'll see if Peter's able to complete this. We do have a rule in Bingo called the instance rule. And what that rule means is that you can't count the same instance of something twice towards a goal. So if Peter collects a dessert and then dies and has to reset, he can still collect that dessert, but he can't count it towards the goal again. You have to get 10 unique hidden desserts. 2-6 or so at the earliest. Okay, makes sense. So hopefully every player is aware of this. I did make a point to tell everybody to read the rules before playing, and I just hope everybody listened to me. Ultimately, it's up to them. Since this is a tournament, if I see a rules violation, I am in the bingo. I should be able to just untick a square, and I'll put a message in the bingo room as well, notifying them of the rule. But hopefully we don't have to do that. You can count the same instance of something towards different goals. Yes, you can. Absolutely. But if we didn't have the instance rule, for example, you could enter Kick Club, get the first dessert, and then just reset and do that 10 times. And that's the sort of behavior that we try to discourage in Bingo. We want people to play the games. So you can do things typically in multiple runs unless a goal explicitly says otherwise, but if it comes to like items or something, then the instance rule does apply, and you will have to make sure that you're picking up different instances of the items. It is something to consider in routing for sure. All right, so over on Morzis' side, we're in level 4. Looks like took a loss to Voltana, so you do get 3 continues in Hyper Contender, and you do often have to use them. The AI in this game is bullshit. Yeah, so it would be definable as 10 unique desserts, correct. We added the kind of blanket rule to avoid, you know, rules lawyering and stuff just across the board on any goal, so that we don't have to worry about every single goal. Like, well, what if they want to death abuse this? What if, you know? So it gives us some freedom to make more interesting goals for the game without having to be really pedantic in every single one. Your casual experience with Hyper Contender is that Yogo is the worst one. Oh, yes, absolutely. I hate Yogo. Yogo and Donkus are my enemies in Hyper Contender. As a former speedrunner of this game, I have a burning hatred for both of those characters. Playing as Donkus, you only have to fight him at the end, and you can kind of match his bullshit, so that's probably a good strategy, honestly, because the Donkus CPU is pretty brutal at times. All right, let me check in on the chat, just make sure I'm not missing anything. I do have to TO while I'm streaming here. Ooh, looks like Glove hit a bingo in his match. Let's take a look. Looks like that ended 8-5 in Glove's favor against Flesh. Hey, good job. So Glove is kind of notorious for getting bingoed, so it feels good that he finally hits a bingo on somebody else. I'm happy for him. Let me just make sure I am recording that over on the bracket in case they did not. And that one was 6-1. There we go. Mark that down that I saw that. Okay, there we go. Are there more streams happening? I believe my stream is the only one going on for this tournament this time. This is the first ever time we're doing this. The bingo is literally 2 weeks old. I would, in the future, maybe we could do something a little bit more formal, have like a couple of streams going. But yeah, for now, it's just going to be this. A lot of matches are happening off stream. In fact, why don't we take a quick swap over to the bracket view real quick, just to see how things are going over here. So we saw Grape take it. Oh, let me refresh this, actually. There we go. So we saw Grape take it over Dark Brick, and we saw Glove take it over Flesh, which means we're going to see Bob Salad fight Glove in round 2 here. And Grape is going to be taking on the winner of Goose and Stan. You'd love to get involved in this? You can actually exclamation point, where is it? Bingo, in the chat. We'll tell you how. You can join the UFO 50 Discord. We have a dedicated channel for it now. I love when my bot doesn't work. I love it. Hang on. I will fix it. Hang on. All right. It would help if the bot was actually on. Try now. If you're already in the Discord, you should be able to just see the channel. There you go. All right. So it used to be hidden in like a thread in a different channel, and Glove is one of the moderators in the Discord. So I said, "Hey Glove, can we just have a channel for this? Like, it's getting pretty popular. People want to know where it is. Like, it's hard to tell people where it is." So he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So as of I think yesterday, we finally have a channel. All right, looks like Morzis losing to the final Donkus fight here. Checking the controls. And going to demand a rematch. Try to seal out this Hyper Contender Gold Disc. Like I said, you get, I believe, 3 continues in this game. Meanwhile, Peter's in World 3 of Kick Club and has not gotten the 10 desserts yet. I can't help but notice. So, potentially struggling to find them. Just kicking the ball around, hoping that they pop out. I don't know where they are personally, so I would be doing the same thing probably. You know, as one of the bingo developers, believe it or not, I actually haven't played that much bingo yet. I spent so much time working on it and hosting streams and stuff like that that I've only played it just a couple of times, and I haven't played it in like a week. If history of commentating Crypt and Necrodancer races, yeah, that'd be awesome. I would love more people to get involved on like the streaming side of things. Okay, so Morzis taking the Hyper Contender Gold Disc here. Looks like they're going to be ticking that card off. Let me go ahead and mark that over on my end here. Oop, I think I have to pull this up in order for it to update on stream. There we go. All right, so Morzis hopping into Rock On Island. Going for have 20 chickens in a main Rock On Island level. Who the hell is Big Boral? He's the big purple guy in the like central ruins area of Pilot Quest, who shoots out all the electricity. It's him. Yeah, I know you're. I know that you do a lot of Crypt and Necrodancer stuff, Spooty. I remember seeing you at like GDQ and stuff. How do you know his name? It was in the files actually. But part of bingo is just knowing stuff about the game. So that never hurts to ask questions. You can always ask questions. Ooh, are we going to see a snipe here? Peter also opening Rock On Island. It could happen. Peter potentially not knowing that this is a skippable cutscene may cost him this goal. There he goes. Figured it out. So this might be the second time that we see a snipe happen, but this time it actually could end up in Morzis' favor. Peter sniped paint chase from Morzis earlier. We might see Morzis get a little bit of revenge here. But yeah, anybody who's interested in getting involved in the bingo as a player, as a streamer, really as anything, Join the bingo chat, say hi. Everybody's been super friendly. We're still working on developing it, so there's a lot going on, a lot of chatter every day. It's a great time. Come hang out. Come join. How do I join? Exclamation bingo in the chat will give you the link to the UFO 50 Discord, and we have a bingo channel in there that you can just hop in and start chatting. The NPEG file names are interesting. All the enemies have unique names. Yeah, it seems like almost everything has like a unique name in the files, but they just don't use them in the game for whatever reason. Like, for example, did you know that the big head boss in Vanger is named Ramses? I didn't know that, and I speedrun that game. Okay, so part of this Rock on Island goal does involve you not losing. So let's see here. Looks like Morzis is taking a lot of damage, not giving up at 13 health. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 chickens. So cooked chickens don't count, but you can just sell them and replace them with live chickens, and that will solve your problem. Are they all named after pharaohs? I don't know. So the other boss in Verde Sector is Yvanger, because it's supposed to be like your teammate who like turns on you. I don't know what the other two bosses are called. Personally, on my splits, I call them Hive and Wizard, but I don't actually know what they're called. Okay, so Peter having a very methodical approach to this goal, whereas Morzis going a bit more economy-based, trying to cook the chickens to get even more money. But it means that Morzis is going to have a bit of a slower start while those chickens get cooked. Meanwhile, it looks like Peter's up to 6, 12, 14 chickens. Morzis over here sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chickens, plus 2 that are cooking. So should be able to get quite a bit of chickens on this round here. Let's see if Morzis can close that gap. The other Robot Guardian might all be pharaohs. Yeah, I have to look at to figure out what they're actually called. Okay, never mind. Peter snipes that as well. Double snipe for Peter so far. Okay, and we are just over the halfway point. Again, if you weren't here when I mentioned it earlier, these matches, since they are tournament matches, are going to be capped at an hour and a half. Once 90 minutes passes, we're going to call time, and whoever has more points is the victor. All right, looks like Peter going for the Night Manor Gold Disc now. Neither player looks like they're going for a 5-square bingo here. They're just trying to collect goals on the board, maybe ones that they know, that they're comfortable with, not feeling threatened by the other going for a bingo. Morzis realizing that they've been sniped here, probably deciding what to do now. Oop, looks like we have another map that's been decided. Looks like Tyler won over Guri. Looks like the score there was 6-5. It was close. It was a bingo. And looks like Guri was 1 square off of bingoing. Let me go ahead and mark that on my bracket here real quick. Make sure I'm reading this correctly. Okay, so Tyler will move on. Spoody, your opponent is going to be Tyler. I'm going to stream your match, so I'm going to call it after this one. Yeah, so sniping is pretty brutal. You don't know at any point what your opponent is working on, so you may be working on a goal. Look over at your card and see that that goal just got taken from you, and now you've wasted all that time. That's just the nature of Lockout Bingo. That's how it goes. All right, so we're seeing Morzis return to combat ants. She's already put in a bit of progress towards this goal, so on to level 2 now, trying to beat 4 levels in this game, while Peter's working on Night Manor here. Potentially doesn't know the gold disc route by heart, picking up a lot of non-required items. So if, as a Night Manor speedrunner, but also as a bingo player, knowing the gold route for Night Manor is incredibly important for bingo. This game can be beaten in literally 2 minutes, even if you're not a speedrunner, just by knowing what to do and where to go. So pretty important to just know this route and be able to just bang it out on the fly. That could have been an easy cherry disc. Yeah, so no cherry discs on the board so far. Morzis is currently sitting on, I believe, 2 gold discs, Quibble Race and Hyper Contender. So a little bit of progress towards that collect 5 gold disc. Also has progress on the pilot quest goals over Peter. Peter's pilot quest is still no hunter, so no meat, and I believe no ingots either. Morzis currently collecting moondrops, collecting meat, and pretty close to collecting ingots as well, even though that's less important for these challenges. It's still progress being made. Yeah, don't you love that? All right, yeah, Peter continues to pick up items not required for Goldust, potentially going for Cherry. If he knows this game, Night Manor is not a very long cherry. If you're not a speedrunner, it's like 10 minutes. Um, as long as you know where everything is. Or potentially just picking up everything he sees because he doesn't fully remember how to beat this game gold. Yeah, no, the cherry is just the true ending. Yeah. Gold is just getting in the car and driving away. All you need for that is the items required to get the shed key, which is the long hook here gets you the shed key. And then in the shed, you just pick up the wrench and the shovel so that you can get the motor and the car key. And then you just leave. So actually, almost done with Night Manor, whether he knows it or not. All right, meanwhile, Morzis is kind of having a tough time in this level over in Combat Ants. This game sucks. Straight up, I don't like this game. Definitely a goal that I would avoid at all costs. Looks like she's potentially calling it quits on this mission here. Trying to figure out how to call it quits. There we go. Almost. All right, retrying that mission. Meanwhile, Peter again just picking up everything he sees. I'm starting to honestly suspect that he's going for Cherry here, since he seems to know where all the items are, even if he's not picking up, or even if he isn't strictly going for gold. He is picking up pretty much everything. So potential for Cherry here, or maybe even just setting up for Cherry to come back to later. Also a possibility. Yeah, so dying in Night Manor, all it really does is change your ending slightly. Doesn't really make any difference. Okay, so all Peter needs now is the motor, which he did pass. It was on the screen that had the shed. I don't think he picked that up. Excuse me. All right, potentially, yeah, okay. Peter definitely does not know the route here. Still needs to get the motor from the lawnmower. Fuecoco is my friend. He lives in my basement. He keeps me company. So yeah, only half the puzzle here to actually escape. You do have to put the motor in the garage door in order to open it. You can't just drive through the garage door. So looks like he's slowly figuring this out. Maybe has to remember where this is, or maybe hasn't even done this before. Who knows? Okay, looks like Goose and Stan won. Goose forfeiting. All right, so let me mark that down. It was a 5-9 for Stan. Okay, so our next round matches are almost all set up here. We're actually just waiting on the results of this match. Combatants is awful on purpose, and it's impressive. I agree. It's impressive that they managed to successfully make a game that just sucks like enough. You know, it sucks enough that it's still playable, but like very few people are actually going to enjoy it. Major bosses, it looks like the sprites for wizard and high bosses are thinking, yeah, so I've seen the sprite names. I think the Ramses name comes from the actual like in-game files, not necessarily the sprite names. So I'd have to ask maybe the modding community if they know the names of the other bosses. Okay, and that's Night Manor Gold Disc for Peter. Sorry, I'm trying to TO stream at the same time. I gotta follow stuff. So sorry about that. I can't always be looking directly at the screen. I'm only one person. All right, so Peter off in Campanella 1 now, probably looking to score 20,000 points. So this is something that is not too difficult if you know the game well. You pick up all the coffees, you kill all the enemies. You can do it, I think, by like early stage B, I think is how soon you can get this. Tyler, thank you for the follow. Hey, congrats on your first win in round 1. I'm going to maybe having you on stream here versus Spoody as soon as this match ends. All right, Peter looking like he knows Campanellis fairly well. He's picking up all these coffees, killing a lot of the enemies, racking up points fairly quickly. Meanwhile, over in Combat Ants, I believe Morzis has beaten 2 levels so far, if I'm not mistaken. No, 3 levels, excuse me, 3 levels. So this is the final Combat Ants level for Morzis. We're going to see if she's able to pull it off. Tyler Spoody should be fun. Honestly, Spoody's always a joy to watch. He's very skilled at UFO 50. We do have a number of competitors in this tournament who are, I would say, bracket demons, accomplished speedrunners of multiple games who have already proven themselves to be very good at bingo. Spoody being one of those. Realistically Positive Man is another contender who I think is very strong here. Nervous, you need a kind board. Tyler, this is going to be the first time I've seen you play, so I'm looking forward to it. Your first match ended very quickly, so, and I know Guri's no slouch, so I think you're going to be just fine. All right, so we are nearing the 1 hour mark on this match, which is the 2/3 point. Once an hour 30 happens, time will be called, and the winner will be whoever has more points. which is currently Peter with a pretty commanding lead. But again, I want to reiterate that Morzis has progress on a number of goals already. Huge progress in Pilot Quest over Peter. I don't think she knows how ahead she is in Pilot Quest, given that she hasn't gone back to it yet. And this Combat Ants goal is about to be finished. The spider here may prove to be troublesome, however. Let's see what happens. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and switch our stream audio over so we can get a good sense of what's going on Morzis' side here. Okay, that's going to be 4 levels in Combat Ants for Morzis, which gets her up to 3 points. Oops. There we go. All right, so Peter's still with a pretty big lead here, going for that 20,000 in Campanella. He's most of the way there. Morzis deciding where to go next. If I was Morzis, I would probably be heading back into Pilot Quest, or I would start fishing for golds. There are some fast gold discs you can do that potentially could contribute to this. If you know the route through Mortal 2, you can tick off the center square here. You can also get a gold disc in about 3 or 4 minutes. I don't think Morzis is that comfortable with Mortal 2, but having that skill here would go a long way on this board. Kid Club 1 seems easy. We actually already saw, I think it was Peter, fail to do that. You do have to know where the desserts are, and according to Bob earlier in the chat, you do have to get all the way to stage 2-6? 10 keys is actually kind of tough. It's something I've never done. But just seeing that Morzis has the upper hand on gold discs so far, I would be going for as many quick ones as I could get, that synergize with other goals on the card. That would be my strategy. All right, Peter coming up on that 20,000 very rapidly here, just trying to find the coffee in this level. If you don't know where they are, it can be a little iffy. That's where the coffee spawn is here. Going to collect that. Only needs a few more. 10 keys route still takes you a bit. About how long do you think it takes? I'm curious, because it's something I haven't seen before. Okay, looks like Morzis is heading into the Big Bell Race. So KO an opponent in the Big Bell Race with all 5 power-ups is a square here. That is actually something we just recently modified, because it used to say KO 3 opponents, and then Spoody on his stream was doing a bingo, opened this game, slammed 3 opponents into the wall in 5 seconds, and ticked it off. So we changed that goal. And there's the 20k, so that's going to be 7 points for Peter and 3 for Morzis. He hasn't ticked it off yet, though, unfortunately. Looks like he might be getting out of the game first. There we go. There we go. Okay, now he's ticked it off. That's going to be 7-3. We are past an hour now, so Morzis has a lot of catching up to do by that hour-and-a-half mark. Yeah, you don't actually have to register the score, you just have to reach it. So in the rules, we've defined this as long as there's some kind of on-screen indicator that the condition was met, then you should be good to go. And speaking of Mortal 2, Peter's playing Mortal 2 right now, so we might actually see the 10 keys in Mortal 2 get ticked off. And we could see Peter blitz gifts and go for a bingo here that potentially Morzis won't be able to contest. Yeah, also true. We have top 5 on 3 leaderboards. So that's going to be 1 leaderboard down for Peter. I don't know if he got another one. I'm not sure. I don't think he did in Paint Chase or Star Wasper. Hey, I'm not comfy in Mortal 2 either, Goose, so I don't blame him. Let's see if he's able to pull it off. I think this is the sort of goal where even if you don't know the exact route, as long as you've played the game before, you should be able to kind of figure it out. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, but it does seem like that kind of goal. Could take a while. You're guessing Morzis will also aim to collect the gold disc while here. Yeah, most likely. So Morzis does have the upper hand on the collect 5 gold discs, having 2 already, and I believe Peter has 0, if I'm not mistaken. Or he has Night Manor, at least. Whereas Morzis here has Hyper Contender and Quibble Race. Now, this big Bell Race goal is going to be a bit complicated, actually, because some of these weapons are not super well suited for getting KOs. They're more for slowing opponents down. Things like the landmine here are not particularly great for getting kills. All right, I'm going to go ahead and swap our audio back over to Peter's side and listen to some Mortal 2. Yeah, 2 cherries is also on the table here. So far, neither player has any cherries on the board right now. Yeah, big Bell Race, another a pretty easy cherry if you're good at it. Getting the collect 2 cherries here is one that's like not bad at all if you know 2 cherries. If you don't know how to get 2 cherries quickly, this could be one of the worst squares on the board. Ooh, okay, taking a death there, unfortunately. So far at 2 keys out of 10. Why are you using the volume sliders and not the mute buttons? You know, you make a really good point, actually. Bell Race is an easy cherry until one of the ships randomly decides it wants you dead. Truer words have never been spoken. This game, sometimes it's like, oh, it's so easy, I'll just bang it out, and then all of a sudden some bullshit happens. Alright, yeah, Peter taking some pretty unfortunate deaths here in Mortal 2. You do get a lot of lives in this game, so not really concerned about a game over here, but it is just going to increase the amount of time he spends in this game. Maybe not a huge deal considering the lead he has right now, but I've said it once, I'll say it again. Morzis has a big lead in Pilot Quest. That could end up mattering quite a lot. 2 out of 5 over from Morzis. Yeah, the cherry's not going to happen here for Big Bell Race, unfortunately, but still can clear out that column 4, row 1 goal. Watching people die in Mortal 2 is very funny. No offense. No offense. But it is really funny when people die in this game. We're having the speed technology could help. This track has a pretty substantial cuts. Yeah. There is no expectation in Bingo that everybody is able to effectively speedrun every game. But it can help, absolutely. Even if you only know a couple of speedruns, you can have a big advantage in Bingo over somebody who doesn't. Yeah, very unceremonious deaths in this game. You kind of just on to the next life. All right, so we're on race 6 out of 8 over here for Morzis on Big Bell Race. I believe still only on 2 weapon kills. I'm not 100% sure. If I were Morzis at this point, I would probably be getting into Pilot Quest as soon as I can to try to wrap up those goals, because time is going to be coming up here pretty soon. There was a mine kill. Okay, so only 2 more weapons required here. May have to hop back into the Big Bell Race to finish this goal up. Again, you could do this in multiple runs. You don't have to do it all in one. By the way, is my mic still cutting out? Have I fixed that issue? I did adjust my noise gate a little bit. The board shows no indication of that. You have to look at the board and discern that for yourself. You sound epic. Thank you. Audio is good? Okay, I've had mic issues for, like, the longest time now. I finally got around to, I think, sorting it out, so hopefully we're good there. Okay, great. Good to hear. All right, so Peter's over here on 3 out of 10 keys so far. Still a bit behind. Looks like getting key number 4 here. And just going to have to look around for more. Morzis on race 7 now. And we've only got 20 minutes left in this bingo, so let's see what happens, guys. Excuse me. Throat's getting a little dry. I'm going to have to hydrate after this. Oh, he spent one. Okay, I've just been looking at the key count, so he's on 5 keys. Good to know. Like, try sometime. Probably have to learn more routes. Auto scrollers and divers. Yeah, there's a lot of learning. Bingo is like a completely separate skill set from, you know, speedrunning or getting the cherry pie. It's something else entirely. You have to know very specific things about every game that you just don't know unless you start playing bingo. So my advice is just start playing bingo. You can do it solo. It doesn't have to be lockout. You can just like pick a card and try to bingo on it yourself. Just start learning the goals. And bear in mind that it's still early days for the bingo. Things are still subject to change, but I think for the most part, the goals that we have are pretty solid, and most of them are going to stay the way they are. It's an entirely different kind of flying altogether. Very true. All right, so final race over here for Morzis. Hopefully going to clutch out the gold disc here, but not quite at the 5 weapons yet. Looks like, I don't know if she's gotten the fire kill yet. Maybe going for that. No, probably already gotten it. Yes, gold disc is guaranteed here. Doesn't count for anything on the board, but pretty good for collect 5 gold discs, putting Morzis at a convincing lead there. Still need turret and bomb. Okay. No, I think she got a landmine kill already. I think someone called that out in the chat. Unless there's a different bomb that I'm mistaken. Oh, it's like the chain, the one that's chained to you, right? Is the one you're talking about? 9 keys over on Peter's sides. Yep, that sounds about right. Oh, you're good, Shadow Fox. The more chat interaction, the better. Makes my stream report look really good later. Okay, so that's going to be a 3rd gold disc for Morzis, working towards that 5. Let's see if she goes back in to finish up this. Yep, going to hop back in, try to get those last 2 kills. I like how you got it to look good on the chat thing over here. All right, chat, I do need to step away. I need water. My throat's killing me. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Peter did mark it, but if I don't have the card active, then it just doesn't show for some reason. But I'm back, and looks like Peter hopped into Big Bell Race, trying to get this the kills goal here. Yeah, Peter could be blitzing gifts here to try to wrap up this bingo as quick as possible. Very true. Okay, yep. Peter's going for gifts here. We might see this end in a bingo after all. We may not end up going to time. Let's see if he's able to do it. Magic card, another very fast gift. If you know the fast gifts, you can kind of bang this out pretty quickly. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call the next set of matches, by the way, as this is kind of wrapping up. So let me go do that. So that's going to be Stan versus Grape, Bob versus Glove. And then Tyler Spooty is going to be on stream after this, and the winner of this is going to go face off against Real Positive Man off stream. Spooty, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. You've been here, but I appreciate it. Oh, Block Koala gift, another really fast one. Definitely a good one if you're going for gifts. Unfortunately, I don't control the ads. I wish I did. I would have no ads if I could. All right, so Peter going to be banging out the gifts that he knows quickly. It looks like he probably knows where the Warp and Mooncat is, so that's going to be a pretty fast one. This is why you like to use an alt for streaming. I mean, money's nice, but ads are definitely not the way that I like to make money through my stream. I'd rather just get it through, like, direct donations and stuff. So, it is what it is. All right, so there's going to be the gift for Mooncat. Peter moving on. I have not counted how many he has, but it's got to be a lot at this point, considering how many games he's undusted here. Which, by the way, look how many games Peter's undusted this whole time. I feel like he's been playing very well, getting around the board quickly. It warms my little heart to see. Yeah, I believe he did get the Mortal 2 gift. Yep. Wanted to make sure I saw the... Oh, okay, I got you. We'll remember in the future, Nixel. Okay, Bob, if you're in the chat, I think we're waiting for you to check into your match. So if you're still here. All right, Overbold, another pretty quick gift here. So I think Peter's probably closing in on a bingo here. He only has 10 minutes to finish this up, though. So let's see if he's able to do it. He wins regardless. But I do like seeing a bingo victory where possible. So Morzis over there still unable to close out this big bell race goal. A bit concerning from a balancing perspective, as since this was a goal that was just modified, I'm almost wondering if maybe it's not balanced. It's kind of hard, yeah. A lot of it depends on not only the RNG of the items you get, but also your ability to actually get a kill with them. So potentially a goal we may want to revisit. They're playing for Cherry. That's also possible. Looks like Peter potentially failed the Overbold gift, hopping back into that. It's going to be kind of hard because the Bell Race. Yeah, Bell Race is one of those games we had a hard time coming up with really any goals for that were like reasonable. Playing for, hopefully we will be playing UFO 50 Bingo for charity at some point. We are submitting to a few marathons, one of them being SGDQ. So fingers crossed that we get to see this at some marathons in the future. What was the hardest game to make goals for? Honestly, Big Bell Race might be the answer to that. It's Mini and Max is another one that's very difficult to make goals for because almost anything in Mini and Max requires like deep game knowledge or a lot of time. There were very few things we could think of that didn't require one or the other necessarily. Ooh, these pumpkins are scary. These pumpkins are scary. Can Peter survive this wave? Ooh, takes death there. Unfortunate. Grimstone has like enough going on that we were able to come up with some goals for it that weren't too bad. You can do them all pretty much around the starting area. We don't require too much of the player from Grimstone. Okay, so Morzis cinches the cherry for Big Bell Race here. Let's see what she can do with that. At quite a deficit here, though. Might be a bit tough to come back. Potentially looking at gifts on Morzis' side now. 1 in 10,000 all cherries. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, Grimstone can be a pain. Bob, you're supposed to be playing right now. Go play your match. Did the game just get patched? No, no. The game didn't just get patched, right? Come on, Derek. Don't do this to me. Hang on. There is an update. It's a 6 megabyte update. No patch notes. So I'm going to assume it's nothing. Something very tiny. Not something that's going to totally break bingo. I love when this happens. Every game, there's always a patch during a tournament. Every game. Doesn't matter what game it is. Yeah, please link to the patch notes. Yeah, patch. Gifts removed from the game. Aw, you got deleted? Hang on. I don't know. I don't know what my auto mod does. Let me take a look. It's gonna ruin the bingo board for a sec. I just see the store page. I don't see I don't see the patch notes there. Whatever. Not a big deal. Forget it. It's just bug fixes. The Vanger final boss out of bounds is gone. Thank God. Hopefully they didn't fix the Y Vanger boss, or I'm never running that game again. You saw the note shot. Why am I blind? You know what? Forget it.
Mission start. Mission failed.
Some quality Cyber Owls gameplay over here. So the goal is to break out an owl to get the gift, right? Big Bell Race made UFOs explode if they go off screen. That's not a real patch note, right? No, he did not finish the desserts. He abandoned Kit Club. It is a real patch note? That's so funny. I love that. All right, we are 4 minutes remaining on time here for this match. I want to see Peter complete the gift goal. I want to see it happen. Patch is bad. Uh-oh, Grimstone got fixed. Uh-oh, Grimstone's hard now. Gotta actually play Grimstone now. Shit. That doesn't seem like a bug. Am I crazy for that? That doesn't feel like a bug. Player, who's resist regardless players resistance. Wait, what? Comfy Panda, what game is that for? Is that Grimstone? That's funny. I guess I'm ruling that everybody just update your game for the tournament. You can't really, like, down patch easily, so. It doesn't seem like it's going to affect too much of Bingo, if any. Umbra getting screwed over is a bit annoying for the Grimstone goals, but... yeah, what are you going to do? All right, 2 minutes remaining in this match before time is called. So, Spoody and Tyler, if you guys could just, like, get ready, hop in a voice chat, and I will join you when I'm ready for you. You wanted to work on the Grimstone route? Yeah, it's... that's definitely a bit yikes for the speed run, I believe. They use Umbra a lot, right? Yeah, yeah. If you freed Bran by breaking the floor below him, it did not count as a rescue. Does that affect anything about, like, the rail heist run? Probably not, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Morzis going for Hyper Contender Cherry? Does Morzis know that the speedrun of that kit is, like, 27 minutes? So I think this has been decided for a while now. I am about to call time in 30 seconds here. Excuse me. Let's see if this... I believe this key is Peter's... is the gift for Velgress. If this is the last key, then it's going to be a... if that's the last gift, then that's a bingo. Let's see. No, I think he's still going. All right, that is time. All right, let me go back to the chat here. All right, guys, that's time. That is time. Peter is our winner here. GG to both of you, though. Good match.
Thanks. Am I still muted? I am. Yeah, I never muted.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. You're good. So yeah, GG. That's going to be, I believe, an 8-3 victory for Peter. So I will mark that down on the bracket. You will move on to play against, who is it? Real Positive Man. I wish you luck.
I
I'm
get to
gonna.
lose next.
I'll give you a minute if you want to go, like, stretch, get a drink, and then I'll call your match.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna transition my stream over to a break screen here, and then I'm gonna get Tyler and Spooty set up. Spooty, if you wouldn't mind joining channel 3 in the Discord, so I can get your screen share, and then we'll move on to that match. All right, be right back, guys.